All right, we'll take questions for Jalen. Please raise your hand. We've got the mics around the room. First question. Back right in the red.
Myron Patton, OKC Sports. Jalen, after you looked at the film and everything else, did you take anything away in terms of what you can take in a game too, like for instance, like shot selection, things of that nature, just defensively? They went on a 12-2 run. Anything you take away from that game that you wish you would have done? Or is it just they made shots, they made plays?
Probably a little bit of they made shots and made plays to a certain extent. You know, you never want to overlook the fact that a team like made shots, and you try and like look back at the film and see why they did that, like what kind of defensive breakdowns we had to allow them to get the looks that they got. And then I think looking back at our offensive process, I thought we were pretty good throughout the whole entire game. So trying to find the balance of improving on offense and also finding just little small things that beat you late game. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, these games really come down to like 1 or 2 possessions. So it's like the more we can find throughout the game, little things to like lock in on and tighten up, the better we'll be.
Joe, second row on the right.
Joe Varden, The Athletic. A couple minutes ago, Mark was up there talking about you and Chet being third-year players, and third-year players aren't typically counted on at a moment like this in the finals. Do you feel that, I guess, that sort of responsibility, and how have you managed it, knowing that you are just in your third year, and you know, typically like what Mark said, like this isn't something that that someone like you or Chet would find yourself in so early in your career?
Just try and think of myself as somebody that's very uncommon. I don't ever think that I'm in my third year, because then that allows me to make excuses. So I usually just go out there and play. Pressure is a privilege, so I enjoy being counted on and doing that. And I just think I've been counted on since, I feel like last year, to be totally honest, just in regards to like being there for 2 and the rest of the guys. And now we're here in the finals, so I don't really see it that much different. But I never really look and I'm like, oh, it's only my third year. I just think the only time I really think about that is just like there's so much more I can do and how much stuff I can get better at, but I never really try and use it as this is my third year and try and use it as an excuse, you know what I mean?
Next row back, Dan.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. Along those lines, sort of, it was one of Shea's highest usage games of the season, highest shot totals of the season. We saw a lot of that in the Minnesota series as well, and I think a lot of that is like they're loading up so much to him. When you know that that's there and you're the release valve for a lot of that, like, does that impact at all the way you think about those possessions? Does the ball feel a little bit heavier? Did you feel like you have to press more? When you know that you're sort of the release valve option there, does that impact the way that you think?
Not really. It's not really like any different of a position that I've been in since I've been here. But no, the ball only feels pretty heavy when you get like a grenade or something from anybody. And I feel like I've thrown my teammates plenty of those in the years that I've been here. So, but a lot of it is just like more staying ready to be the release valve or like be ready to make a play. And that's kind of the mindset that everybody on the team carries out. And that doesn't always mean that I have to like go jack up a shot, but just trying to create for others or even like get the possession moving in a different direction. Like there's a lot of things that I can do on the court offensively that don't involve like obviously scoring for that possession, but I try and think of it that way and just trying to make the right play.
Second row over here.
Hey, Jalen, draftados from Spain. We just asked Shea about a video that we saw of Kobe and him, like, plays were very similar, the pump fakes, the stopping, the mid-range, the turnaround jumpers. I was wondering if you have seen that and what you think about that. And also, now that we're one game in the series, you guys have talked a lot about winning the days in between. I was wondering if you could take us through what that means and if you feel like you've won the day in between.
Yeah, first a Shea question. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities there. I feel like if you are really paying attention to basketball and watch the way he plays, it's a lot of similarities. It's cool that he can pick certain aspects of his game to like kind of mimic that a little bit and then add his own like touch to it. So that kind of shows the kind of player that he is, to be able to steal bits and pieces from his from his favorite players and be able to like put it into a game and work on it. There's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into him being able to do that. And then, winning the days in between. I mean, you never really know if you want them until you play your next game, but all you can do is try and have the same routine that you've had throughout the season, throughout the playoffs, and try and mimic that as close as possible, eliminate distractions, not focus on what the series is at, focus on how you can get better. Like I said earlier for the first question, like you try and figure out small things to get better at during like the playoff run, during the finals, and basically whatever team can like figure out how to get better each and every game, each and every series usually ends up winning. So that's what we try and do, and that's what we focus on.
Michael, last question up front.
Michael Grange from Sportsnet in Toronto. I know these matchups are never really one-on-one, but you've had a fair bit of covering Pascal Siakam in Game 1. How do you feel about that kind of matchup against a guy who's just a little bit bigger and has kind of a 3-level game in a way?
It's fun. You can't really ask for more than a guard and elite player in the finals. So obviously he's definitely battle tested. He won with Toronto, correct? Yeah. So he's done this. This isn't like his first time going through it. So I try and take that into account. And like I said, for me, I'm trying to get better every time we play. And then obviously him going at me the way he is, like unconsciously, is making me better. So I try and relish in that opportunity and just compete. There's going to be mishaps, there's going to be mistakes. He's going to score. He's a good player. But, you just try and make it as hard as you can. And, they do the same thing on the other end.
Thank you, Jalen.
Cool.